What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're looking at the Air Jordan 13 playoff, you could say All-Star game. Jordan did wear them in the 98 All-Star game before the playoffs, but I just like to prefer the playoff name itself. So yeah, we have the 2023 Retro on our left, and we have the beautiful OG on our right side. Overall, I'm very happy with this new Retro. It's done really well. It's a really nice Retro. I'm glad I picked them up. And before we start getting into the comparison of the actual shoes themselves, we're just going to look at the boxes really quick. So the OG box, your standard silver box. Here we go, Air Jordan 13. Black, true red, and white. Retail for $150. Foot action for Tony. Shout out to Tony. Don't know him. But yeah, so there you go. There's the silver box. And the Retro is the silver box. Once again. So nice replication. Air Jordan 13 Retro. Black, true red, and white. And per usual, you see the box is a little larger. So off the edge here, it's about an inch wider in the back and in the front. So that's a common thing. I would love to see the boxes go back to more of, smaller scale. Just, the shoes aren't that massive. So they'll be flopping around in the boxes. Plus it saves space for us shoe hoarders, you could say. And next, we're going to dive into the comparison. All right, so as we take a look at the front end, here on your left is the Retro from 2023. And we have the OG from 1998 on the right. Tinker Hatfield designed this shoe. It's kind of based off of Black Cat, Black Panther, some say. Aggressive style play by Michael Jordan. When you're going from the Jordan 12, very simple, kind of a clean silhouette, definitely built like tanks. Definitely a lot more detail, you could say, like overall in the design of the 13 from all the angles, which we'll cover everything. But yeah, this is definitely probably my favorite colorway. The black toe is probably just right behind that. But yeah, I've always loved the black colorways from all the Jordans, as you guys have followed me on Instagram or on YouTube. But as we start, we're just gonna start from the bottom. So let's start right from the toe box here, and you can see the leather on the OG. It's got a little more texture on the tumbled leather. And we're a little smoother here. You can kind of see the rough grain, you could say, but it's a little smoothed out. And the toe box on the OG, you can see before we even go toe to toe, that just rides out flatter. It's kind of curling up here a little bit. It's raised. Again, the shape of the shoe I've mentioned in other videos. Shape of the midsole, it's just not as straight on an arrow as the OG. As we move up, the Jordan branding's very similar. Nothing too much to note. And you have the stitch line here, just beneath this lace, where you kind of drop them through. It just stops right there. This one goes all the way across. And we move up to the tongue. The original branding, it's a little smaller. So the circle's a little smaller, and it's not as outlined as thick. So it's a little different. The red is deeper though. When we see the reflection on this on the outsole as well, we'll show when we show the outsole. And you can see it's a little lighter red. They both got butt cracks. This one's got just a little thicker maybe. And my dog is gonna get spanked. The tongue lining. It's kind of coming over. You could see on the edge, and it's tucked back on the OG. So that's definitely a major difference on the tongue itself. The heights are pretty much on point. I unlaced the Retro, so we can actually pop them up now. And you can see they're pretty much the same height. Both of these, for the record, are size 11. You didn't notice that while I was showing the boxes, but they are true to size, true to scale. Again, when I looked at these earlier, as always, the OG, it runs a little small, even toward the end of the Jordan line, the Jordan 13. So next, we're going to look at the heel. All right, now we're looking at the heel, and you can see the eye of the tiger. Not a tiger, though. It's a little cloudy on the OG. Over time, it oxidizes. Some people like hit it with a hair dryer. It's very temporary. I don't suggest that. You're heating something up that's fragile and vintage. It could definitely crack. So not a good idea. But yeah, so from the get-go, you can see that the clear versus the cloudy. Tongue heights you can see are pretty much the same. The collar, it's got a nice shape, nice flow to it. And the material is really smooth, and you can kind of see it's got lines here, and it's a little more U-shaped out, little harder shaped, I'd say. This comes a little closer together as the panels on each side, and I just like the stitching. You'll see it just looks a lot straighter, a lot cleaner on the original. Even right here, when you look at the stitching, you get to see it's got a nice flow to it. It's nice tip point. Even this comes to a little point, a little nicer. It looks pretty good here, but it's like just that more refined on the original. Next, we can look at the tags. So let's pop the tags here. This one's made in China, 11/197, size 11. Getting ready for 98. And here we have size 11, 6/8/22, the Jumpman. But yeah, leather's pretty decent. Again, you can see it's a little smoother here, and you can see it's got more grain to it. Width is about the same. Nothing crazy to note. Let's look at the insole. So you can see the Jumpman right here. And I'm going to pop the other one because I unlaced this retro so you guys can see. The new one, it's got the size stamp, but there it is. You got the light in there. There it is. But yeah, pretty standard. They're pretty much the same size. I don't think it's maybe a little smaller on the OG, honestly. They're a little puffier looking too. If you've ever seen the Air Jordan, even when the first Jumpman came on the low tops, the playoffs, and the Cobalts, it's a little like the decals, just a little more puffed out. So yeah, that's your front view. We could take an overhead view really quick here too, and just kind of see between the two how everything lines up. But again, you can see the texture here. The side panels come pretty close to even, but we'll nitpick that a little bit more as we get to toe to toe. All right, so we're looking toe to toe. You got your retro here, 2023, and our OG. Toe box, let's just start at it. Nice slope, comes nice and straight down, and on the retro, it's still raised a little bit. Okay, so it looks pretty good. The toe box looks good. It's just I don't know if it's a combination of how this is molded to the outsole, or if it's just the upper before they mold it. Even it's got a curve to it, but yeah, it's still got that. It's not totally like really severe, but like the Jordan 2s definitely have, especially the right shoe. I've seen on a lot of pairs just straight banana. The sevens, the Cardinal sevens, had a little bit of a curve, not too bad, and these just maybe similar to the sevens, where it's just got a little bit of a curve. Just the lines of the shoe, the way this comes down, and it's a little longer, and it comes more of a nicer point, and this is just kind of cut a little shorter. It's just kind of rounded off. So all those little details kind of show, just a little more flair on the OG. And you could tell, like, now that we're looking at the side panels, just the texture of the leather. This feels good, though. I mean, this does feel good. It's pretty plush. It's pretty soft. And this is definitely a little more tumbled. Looks a little nicer. The indentations are pretty good on the retro also. Pretty happy with the leather overall. Just clean lines. You can see like the stitching is it's not great around up toward the collar. And when you look to the right and you look at the OG, it's like the seams are just like not even there. It's really well done. Shut your trap. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's really seamless, when you look at the top here compared to this. So that's one of my biggest, like, it's all about the details, and that looks really clean. Love the leather. It's just a nice clean look. Nice toe box, and again, even the back side panels here, you can see it has a nicer point to it on the original. All right, we're looking at the outsole next, and you can see a little more oxidation again, like we saw on the hologram. up by the collar, and the red's deeper. It's definitely deeper. It's a little more vibrant on this one. But it looks good. I mean, I don't hate on it. They brought the gray back. I know the last retro did not have the gray, so I know a lot of people are happy about that. Maybe oxidation, but it's a little darker. But I really think that red was not like that, back in '98. Pretty sure this is pretty true, considering when I mentioned the stitching on the tongue matches this red, and the red on the tongue matches more of this. But yeah, again, size 11, size 11. So you see a major size difference even when they're the same size from, again, the OG to the retro. But other than that, yeah, it looks pretty good. The plate here looks pretty solid. I've seen worse, and no gripes about it. I'm sure these are comfortable. The molding shape looks pretty on point. Nothing really to nitpick other than that. All right, so that's pretty much a recap on the 2023 retro Air Jordan 13 playoff, how it compares to the original perfection. Uh, yeah, I mean, this is a great retro. I would strongly recommend if you like this shoe to pick it up. It's definitely the best retro to date. I'd probably give it, a few little things here and there, but I give it a solid 8.5 overall out of 10, which is a pretty good score. And yeah, definitely gonna rock these. I might wait a little bit because I really like them and got a bunch of other shoes in my rotation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you could subscribe, and you could follow me at OGear Bust on Instagram, and we'll see you very soon.